Do you have an opinion as to whether we should change? Is there enough information now to go from Schedule 1 to Schedule 2? Dr. Weiss?
Well, that is something
Microphone.
that is something that's being considered under the 8-factor analysis, which Dr. Throckmorton referred to, and which we are not yet, which is still in a pre-decisional state. What I would state is that we still do not have the clinical trials to show that marijuana as a plant is effective for any specific indication. So I think we still need to get more information. However, what we are very interested in is trying to find ways to support research and to expedite research, whether it's by changing the schedule or by finding a way of streamlining processes within the Schedule 1 process that will help us get there. And this is something that we have been in discussions with many of our federal partners, including the DEA, who are also interested in working with us to try and facilitate Schedule 1 research.
So your advice to the committee, if I've got this right, is that we need more research. There are some promising applications, but there's also a chance for abuse too. I mean, we
Correct.
need to know what we're doing here.
Correct.
Dr. Morton, what is your view about, do we know enough now to make the change?
I'd agree with Dr. Weiss first that the DEA is in the process of finalizing their decision, and so it wouldn't be something that I would be able to comment on directly. I'd also agree with Dr. Weiss, we don't know as much as we'd like to about the specific compounds found in marijuana and the specific potential values that they may hold. So additional research, we need to be sure that whatever the federal agencies do, that we're not getting in the way of that research.
Okay. And I think the two previous senators suggested that, politicians should make this decision, scientists. Well, I think politicians will ultimately make this decision, but I think both of us want to make an informed decision. And if you have doubts about the state of play, I don't know how we could not have doubts. Does that make sense?
Yes, I think we see a lot of potential for this system, and I think there is a lot of promising data out there, and there are a few areas where I suggested that the data are stronger than others, for example.
But we need a process, not...
But we need a process.
Here's I don't mean to advertise for this guy, but Dr. Reefer has a billboard. I think this is in Las Vegas. Get your medical marijuana card. Out of state, MMJ cards accepted, left on Naples, the Grove. I want to introduce these into the record, but I'll get more. Some states who have legalized medical marijuana seem to have not gone down the scientific route, unless Dr. Reefer knows more than y'all do. So what do we do about that? I mean, how does the system work? States that have, legalized medical marijuana, I've been told stories about where somebody will come up to you on the beach and want to know if you need a prescription. Is that true?
I mean, those are the stories that we hear as well, and the reasons that we're very concerned that people might make choices of using marijuana when there are actually proven effective treatments that could benefit patients. And we hear this from parents who are interested in treating their children with ADHD with marijuana rather than with some of the stimulant medications that have been shown to be effective.
Dr. Throckmorton, are you familiar with Dr. Reefer?
I have not had the pleasure.
Okay. Do you know if he's published any
I will say, however, we have had good interactions with the states, and I think you characterized where we are with state medical marijuana well. Each of the states have made different decisions about what areas to allow under medical marijuana.
Here's where I don't want to go. I don't want to go to the Dr. Reefer route. If you can prove to me and the committee that marijuana has medical applications for those in need through a scientific process, I am very open-minded, because my mother passed of cancer, and I've been told anecdotally about how this drug helps people with seizures. But I also have been a prosecutor, and I understand that this has been a gateway drug. So I think I understand both sides. What I don't want is this. I don't want this. So thank you both for your testimony, and you've given us information about how we could change to increase research. That's what I'm looking for. I don't want to make a Schedule 1, Schedule 2 decision just based on the fact you can't have adequate research. Maybe there's ways to get research without changing the schedule until we know more. Is that a fair statement?
I think it is a fair statement, and I think that is really what we have been trying to work with our other federal agencies on, ways of looking at the laws to be able to, for one thing, perhaps increase the number of manufacturers of marijuana, which you've already heard about. NIDA right now is the single source. We've been working with the DEA and others to look at ways to see if this is possible, and we are hopeful.
Thank you.